Hello, everybody, and welcome to a cup of self-empowerment to trust, heal, and be thyself with my beautiful friend across the ocean in the USA. The most beautiful Tanya Fuller is here with us today. And for those of you who don't know Tanya, I'd like to give a little bit of background knowledge so you can feel into her beautiful energy and touch into what we're going to speak about today. So Tanya Fuller is the owner of Three Feathers, Holistic Energy Healing and Wellness. She has been blessed to live in the beautiful mountains of Lake Tahoe, Truckee in California, USA for 15 years. She guides people from all walks of life as they discover deeper soul embodiment and expansion. As a shaman, she walks with intention in this life as a seeker, a teacher, a co-creator, and she embraces her extensive training as a hypnotherapist, Reiki Master Teacher, a yoga instructor, a hypnotherapist, I've already said that, an Akashic Records Practitioner, and a post-birth doula to work with people all over the world. Through Shamanic Energy Mapping, Tanya tracks and teaches her clients how to clear old patterns of fear and lack, connect to unity consciousness and divine purpose, and learn new ways of managing their personal energy. She also offers spiritual gardening mentorships, which give people an opportunity to deep dive into cultivating their unique technique. In these personalized mentorships, they discover soul-level fulfillment of purpose and clarity and apply it to all areas of their life. Tanya understands that as humanity becomes more and more conscious of how our energetic signature pulses, we awaken to the powerful frequency of unity and creation. Wow, that's just beautiful. So welcome, Tanya. Thank you for taking the time to have a couple with us today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And you? How are you?
I'm really great. So what time is it? Is it as we're recording?
We're like, we're 9 hours ahead of you at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're coming to the end of our day. We're in the future right now. We're living the future. That's how we do it. Yeah.
I'd love to ask you questions.
No, okay. So how did you actually start trusting thyself on your personal journey, Tanya?
That's a great question. So I began to learn once I was done with feeling the opposite of trust, of being filled with anger and anxiety and resentment and all of the things that I kind of soaked in from my surroundings and my family and all of those things, the birth family. And I got to a point where I was just saturated with it and began that journey of just peeling the layers and understanding and taking ownership. So rather than that energy of like, oh, I was, born into this, or my childhood, or all of that stuff. I took my power back, and I wanted to first learn. Well, first I wanted to not have those feelings anymore and feel light, reconnect. And then as it progressed, really understanding and seeing the beauty in all the things that I have gone through. Part of my soul expansion.
That's true. You did, yeah. We all chose it. We always forget that we did choose this because we don't actually, that's the part of remembering when we're doing our own journey and like healing ourselves as well, is remembering that, we actually chose this consciously or subconsciously, however we want to see this. And it is easy from like what's going on outside of us to actually start thinking, making excuses. Well, it's because of that and because of that. So that's why I'm this and that's why that. But we always have that power, as you said, you want to take your own power back to, change that, that pattern which you weren't happy, what wasn't making you feel very good in yourself as well. Yeah. So that's really
right. And learning why. Well, changing it and then looking back, right? Not being like, okay, I changed it. I don't want to deal with that, right? Because things changes and right, family isn't going to disappear and all of that. But then turning around and then being the observer and okay, why did I choose this? Like, what did I learn from this?
Yeah. That's
Why,
very, yeah.
right? Why is it all coming in? And it still happens, the things that aren't so great and are challenging. And that's the mastery and embodiment of like, okay, these things are happening, but it doesn't define us.
Mm-hmm.
It's leading, it's creating a path, right? Leading us to where we want to go.
That's very true. That's very true. Which leads me on to my next question. It's like, so how did you start working on healing thyself? You know, because you wanted to change all these patterns, so you became the observer. Would you say like taking this observer point of view was like the turning point where you started on your own healing journey?
I would say, well, this is okay. What's coming in? I'm hearing it's almost like a trauma response of like, okay, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I was gonna do, I do it myself.
Yeah.
So while that doesn't serve in a lot of ways, that helped me because I was like, well, I got to do this myself. Fine. No one's going to do that. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, I can
And
relate to that very well.
so that, the observer and embodying the observer doesn't come right away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really about just going inside and sitting with every layer, all the feelings, tracking it, also understanding where the feelings came from.
Yeah.
Why
Pinpoint.
and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that's really good because it's seeing it from a different perspective and also going into the question because, you got a lot of modalities. When did you start all these modalities? Because obviously, I assume like with Reiki, you were receiving it before you were teaching it and stuff like that. So, what led you, where would you say was the first pebble on your path, which kind of touched you and said, okay, well, I need to go and do this?
That would be Reiki.
Yeah, it would be Reiki. Yeah, I think it's for a lot of it, it's Reiki. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So as I was listing the modalities, and there's a lot more magnified healing and things like that.
No, please share with us. Please share that, all of us. We'd love to know.
Darshan Reiki, angelic Reiki Master, all of these different modalities. So I was writing down like, oh my goodness, this is obnoxious. Like, all right. But Reiki, Usui Reiki was the first one.
Yeah.
And that just has my heart because that just really helped me channel in and bring in the light.
Yeah.
And access these places that I held like this out of safety and not trusting and all of that. And then just to have that light come in and open it up, right? It doesn't quite zap it. It's not like, okay, poof, magic wand, it's gone.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, no. Yeah.
It'd be like this, right? So I think of now I see them as like the seeds of anger and anxiety and all those things. And the Reiki light energy comes in and it lets that seed blossom.
Perfect. That's actually perfectly explained. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then grow, right? And so then what comes out of it? And then you have to take a look at like, oh, what's in here?
Yes.
Right. It's the blooming and the realization and the clarity and the like, oh.
Yeah.
And getting to know myself on my terms. And the gentleness of Reiki.
Yeah.
And when I went into learning it, everything that I do, I always start, my intention is never to go learn something for the purpose of going to work on other people or have my job, make money, none of that. It's always been about the self-reflection. And so I started that journey of like, okay, this feels so good. I would love to give myself in between the Reiki session.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
And then like, this is great. And then it was like, oh, level 2. Okay. Cause I'm like an eternal student.
Yeah.
Love to learn. I want to go to school all the time. Like if college was my favorite.
Okay.
And I always thought it like, gosh, I just got to go to school all day and learn and do what I want. Great. No responsibilities besides, bathing and taking care of myself.
Yeah.
So keep going, right? And then Reiki Master, and I was like, cool, still, right? Reiki Master, you're learning.
Oh yeah, you're learning. It's all it's the steps of your own journey, Yeah.
And not, right, so Reiki Master, yeah, I'm going to do this. for myself, I don't want to teach. Like, I'm not going to teach. I'm not, you know. And also I started to incorporate Reiki with my doula work. So I
Oh,
attend.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
That was also like a side thing of like, oh, this will be really great as I'm working with women in labor, just
Yes.
to have some Reiki. That'll be great. That's my extent of like sharing it out in the world, right? It's all mine. I'm not going to share it. And so that grew and grew and grew. And then all of a sudden it leads to another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then I can't even remember the steps, but I think I'm going to say angelic Reiki came next. And I love connecting with the
Oh,
angels.
yeah.
And that was angelic Reiki just feels like so personal, where Usui Reiki is lovely, that lovely light feeling that the angels, when they come in with that energy, and
Mm.
you just got your tribe, that divine guidance. And so that felt great.
Yeah.
And then it led to I could go on, but yoga. And then I decided I'm going to go learn yoga, teach yoga, but only so I could teach my doula clients.
Oh, wow. So it was really around your whole doula was really like your focus. And then you were using the stuff which you learned for yourself, you were integrating it into your doula work to make it more comfortable for the ladies who are laboring and stuff. Yeah.
Totally, right? And as you're saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Because I really, when you're in it, the
Yeah.
perspective, but you often that perspective, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
doing it to make that so much more comfortable for that experience, that so precious experience of birthing, a baby. And then, that's huge work. My midwife, I remember she said, Kelly, it's like your body, like you're walking, that's like you're climbing Mount Everest now, Kelly. Your body's working extremely hard. And she going, you've got like a rucksack, which has got 10 tons in it, and you've got no water to drink. This is how you feel. This is kind of like the energy what you're working with. That's why, it's intense. And, I know myself, because I had no knowledge of Reiki. And I think when I had my children, if I had had that then, that would have been amazing. I mean, my births are brilliant anyway, but, to have that, and to, as you probably know yourself with your children, to have that ability to work with the Reiki with your children and just offer it, mine was the same as you. It was like, okay, I needed it for me, and it helped me on so many levels, emotional pain, and, I just needed it, and it was helping. Wasn't understanding how it was helping me, but it was helping me. And then it was like, okay, I want to learn this myself, so I'm not dependent on someone, so I can, treat myself whenever I need it. And then obviously with the boys, it's like, oh yeah, then I can help my children. My intention was the same as you, not intendingly to share it with everybody else. It was kind of like, okay, I need this for me, because this is peeling back my layers. This is how I need to work it on myself. And then I moved into my family, and then outwards like yours. But for you to have it in the whole doula community, I think that's beautiful. Yeah.
It's so amazing. And also what just was illuminated, and as I've, in hindsight, because I've been a doula for about 10 years,
Wow.
that it's really the mission, it gets more clear, right? It's really about souls.
Yeah.
It's really about those babies too, and the co-creation of the mom. And then getting into like when the baby conception, each trimester, what's going on with their subconscious, what's going on with the mom, what are her,
Wow.
because the babies are just subconscious, so they don't know how to distinguish between their feelings and the mom's feelings, or what's going on outside.
Yeah.
And so the whole skills and adaptabilities and a whole soul mission, it's so complex. And so I see like that was my drive at first, starting with birth doula work, was because of my experience with my first child. I have 3. And I didn't want anybody to experience certain things that I did, a lot of like emotion and guilt, and like not knowing, and not
Yeah.
enough support, all of that.
Yeah.
And went into that for that reason. But of course, that's that's the doorway. We're only shown what would get us there to the next point. Otherwise, if like I was told like, okay, you're gonna do the work because it's about souls, and at that point I'd be like, no.
It's
I'm
like, I
just,
just want to have these women birth babies, you know?
that sounds like a lot. Forget it. What else am I going to do? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Wow. So you started with the Reiki and that progressed because haven't you just recently done the hypotherapy?
yep. So, hypnotherapy, I finished that last year. And so that has been, it's something I've wanted to do for many years,
Mm.
and it just aligned. And I just immersed myself in it for a while. And what's so beautiful is learning about the mind, learning how our conscious mind works, our subconscious, the superconscious, which is the divine, and how
Yes.
we all have that. We have those three parts to our mind. So we all have that divine portal in us as well. And it's about
Mhm.
how do we align and sift and sort to get right in that sweet spot of the superconscious and access guides, right? Go
Yes,
into the Akashic records.
exactly.
um, and hypnosis is so wonderful because it's helping people. It's like that step before getting into the meditative place. So a lot of people are like, I can't meditate, it's too
Mhm.
loud, da 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 da. And it's like, here, this is what we do: is we're going to quiet the chatter, quiet the dialogue. This is
Mm.
the way you do it. And
Yeah.
then we go in and we're going to, where what beliefs are running and operating right now that are um, lack and scarcity and
Yeah.
fear and all the things,
Mhm.
programming, and reprogram it. And how I work and what I studied was the integral. So I work with my clients together. So we come up with the affirmations and suggestions
Oh, that's
together.
beautiful.
They
Yeah.
learn for themselves. I teach them self hypnosis. They go home with a recording. So this is co-creation. They're not coming
Oh.
in and then I could, right, put them
Yeah, totally.
anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. And so it's teaching people how to be empowered and embody their own abilities.
Yeah.
There's no more that time of us going somewhere and um, having somebody heal or give us all the answers or all of that. We can't externalize anymore. That
It's
is
all in
not this
here.
time.
It's all
It's all
with all.
here.
And and this is what I really, but that it's something which I really, truly, really stand for, because I know, I've only been doing this work now for, like, my journey probably started 7 years ago. So I'm very new, really, to say. And if I can do this, and I think everybody can do this, because we all have that connection. It's just having that desire to go down that path, to start, really like working on yourself, because you are your own project, and it's not a project that you're ever going to close. As you said, you're the eternal student. I understand that completely. We're the student and the teacher at the same time, because we're always peeling back another layer, discovering something else. And then when you peel back that layer, it's not like all butterflies suddenly like fly out of you. It's like some real shit what comes seeps out there as well. So you're like, oh, okay. And actually seeing that and thinking, okay, well, I can't really leave that just hanging out there. I need to clean that up. And then you're doing the work on yourself. And it's, I don't want to scare anyone who's watching us today, by saying, it's an ongoing process. But what you reap through this process for yourself, I mean, yourself, is just, you can't put it in words.
Yeah.
It's really hard at times, but the outcome as well, I can't express it, because it's just really special. I can't find the vocabulary to say what that is. Yeah.
There's no words. It's hard to, it's
Yeah.
a feeling. And when you were speaking, what was coming in, it's very visual. Um, but I was seeing, like, if we are like a rose plant,
Yes.
we're the rose plant. And if you were to film us, right, on this journey, or you were to film a rose plant or bush, I guess, you film
Yeah.
the bush, time lapse, and you watch the seasons, right? And it's
Totally.
like bud, bloom, the leaves fall off.
Released. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing too. And so there's beauty, it's expansion, enjoying, going back inside, nesting, right? And the
Yeah.
seasons really help us with that too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. I suppose you kind of, with like the whole shamanics, for anyone who's not really known much about shamanics, can you explain that to us as well today?
Yeah. So I explain shamanism as it's more of there's the modalities and ways to access and use energy, which would
Mhm.
be Reiki, hypnotherapy, meditation, all those things.
Yeah.
Shamanism for me it's a lifestyle. It's like the ethics. It's the code of being. It's yeah, it's a way of being. And then there are different ways that we can access and connect and move energy. So we really work with the chakras are huge, these energy centers,
Yes.
using nature a lot. We open the directions. We're always, each direction holds a certain energy, always honoring the earth. I mean, Mother Earth is, I
Yeah,
mean, this is where we live. It's
exactly.
beautiful. And then above too. And so it's creating like a light grid when we open the space so that we can access all these points and be, and then always through the heart. So we're always heart centered.
Mm.
And what else can I explain about that? Um, and so it's really going, what I'm helping people do is going through, we say like you got to go through the jungle. You can't go
Yeah,
around. But in the jungle, there'll be the poisonous spiders. There's going to be like magical medicine. There's
yeah,
going to be treasures, the oasis. There's going to be these animals. And so we're forging you got to go through the jungle
yeah.
and get to the other side, and you're gaining all of that wisdom.
Oh, I like
And
that.
so knowing how to do that. So I do shamanic energy mapping. And so I'm
Mhm.
tracking someone comes in with something, or they might not even know, like, oh, I just need to make a session.
Mhm.
Or I don't know where to begin. And I'm like, well, begin anywhere. I was
Yeah.
like, we could literally start talking about bananas right now and
Okay.
how pretty they are, and guarantee that the conversation is going to end up where we need to be,
Mhm.
because we're just entering, and
Okay.
then we just follow and track and like get to where whatever they need to work on, whatever that layer is. And so shamanism is incorporating all of that stuff. That
Wow.
makes sense.
It makes
I might
sense.
I might have confused myself.
No, I'm not confused, and I get confused quite quickly. So I'm not confused. I'm good on that one. And that's actually nice for me to have that, because I know what it is, but for it to be explained, because I love that when you open the directions and stuff like that. And it kind of like fits everything what you do and what a lot of people do. That kind of, it's like the template, but it's a way of being. So, when you live that life, it's obviously a very true to it. So that's wonderful. So,
And
all the, yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say we have to listen to ourselves.
Yeah. And that's the
It's
difficult
all
bit
the
because of the noise around us. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we don't
And
always
it
want to hear.
develop right, and developing the knowing, right?
Yeah.
That center. So in shamanism, we're always we call it Aini, and Aini is balance, and we want to be in the
Okay.
circle of our wheel. So you think of the wheel, and it's got the directions all
Mm-hmm.
around, right? That circle, energy is always doing this. So we want to make sure we're in the center, and that way everything's going on around us, but we know who we are. So we're not going to get swept up. So I use the analogy of at playgrounds, that thing you can hold on and someone will spin it and you go really fast. Do you have
Yeah. On
those
the
things?
roundabout. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if you're in the center, you can hold on and like go faster, right? But if you're
Yeah.
on the outskirts, you're like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
So we want to be on the center because life is moving and life is shifting and evolving in momentum. And
Uh-huh.
so, yeah, finding being in the center, having the Aini, that balance,
Mm.
and checking in and holding ourselves accountable. So you could look at different places in your life and be like, okay, what direction am I in?
Okay.
What's right? So relationship, oh, this is going on. Okay, oh, I'm in the south.
Mm.
I'm shedding right now, right? South
Okay.
is serpent. So it's really awesome. It's just a map, not
That's
just a map.
cool.
It's a map.
It's a very special map. Yeah, it's deep. It's very deep. It's really great because when you're explaining it, I'm actually seeing the visualization. I'm actually being shown the visualization when you're explaining everything, which is really great. I really like that. So you obviously done all this trusting and this, diving deep in yourself, delve on what needed to be done, how you wanted to be that, that better version of yourself, that, get rid of the patterns which weren't serving you, which weren't doing you any good. And then obviously you embarked on your own healing journey, which then leads you on to helping other people heal themselves as well. And so when would you say was the moment where you really stepped into being unapologetically Tanya and like doing your thing? Was there kind of like a moment where you say it was from that moment onwards, or do you feel it's like always been there in the background? You've just been coming out more of it.
I think, okay, well, I think it's because all the aspects of us. So part of me, yes, even like for the firstborn in the family. So just the go-getter, the one who just knew what I wanted, but also encountered a lot of things, being told no and all. And
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into that stuff, but so there's that aspect, right? So that's helping me. That's like the flame, right? Encouragement. I would say to step in and be me happens more and more every time. But the one time there is there's one time that really it wasn't pretty.
They're not
And
usually pretty. No. It's not usually pretty. These things, there's always those I'm very pretty moments. Yeah.
No, it was like I give up. I got the universe took me from one place that I was like, no, I'm fine here. No, it's okay. Like, but I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy here. Like this stuff sucks, but like, I'm grateful, right? We got to get careful not to be stuck in the grateful trap because it's really like, well, at least I have this. So at least, so the universe is like, oh no, come on, right? And because I was holding on. The universe is like, spit me out, right? And then I just land. And so there was with this thing a couple months where I was just like, forget this. I give up.
Yeah.
I actually went, I've gone to school for interior design as well. So I've had many things. I'm a writer, so I did music journalism and was before had plans to write. I wanted to write for Rolling Stone magazine, go on tour with bands, do all that stuff, right? And then and then interior design, and I love interior design. It's a lot of energetics. But anyway, in this moment, in this time, I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna do interior design because I love it. And so, I was like, not listening, la la la. I'm not doing any of this. I'm just gonna like go into interior design. And then the universe is like, I'm like, no, we're good. Spits me out, right? And then I'm just kind of felt like I was like wandering around and just kind of moping and letting myself feel the way I was feeling. And my husband was like, all right, you need to like, come on, what's going on? You know what you need to do now. It's time. I guess I was maybe not so great to live with. Who knows? But he's like, it's time, like do it. And I looked at him and I was in such a space and I was like, really? Like, really? And he's like, yes, you're meant to do this. Like, keep going. Don't let
so wonderful.
Take that and make it happen. And so I did. And I would say that just catapulted me into this whole other world, like even more of me. Yeah. And so there are pockets of the stuff that happens that is like friction or just where we know that it's not right anymore. Yeah. And we keep making excuses. Yeah. Or we keep allowing ourselves to be treated a certain way, or we start to behave in a way that isn't authentic. Yeah. The signs are everywhere. And right? If we can extract ourselves before we're extracted. Yeah. And that is important. Because it doesn't feel good if we get extracted. But if we're just like, all right, I'm going to open the door and leave before this gets. Yeah. So it happens often. Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yeah. There is,
Yeah.
yeah, and also when you're making excuses for yourself because you feel it so much in your body, and you obviously getting your guides coming in and telling you, and this is coming in, but you just know, and the more you hang out and say and resist, the harder it's going to come and smack you, because it's like, come on, how much do I need to get your attention here? How much, why are you not listening to me? So it gets more intense, definitely. Yeah.
So the guide's like, you're about to go off Niagara Falls, a giant waterfall. Go over there to that nice river. What are you doing? No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's not go do the Niagara Falls one, please. No.
no thanks. So now I'm like, I'm gonna listen. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, I should have listened.
Yeah. Because
Right.
we know that,
Like,
and everyone knows that. We all have that insight. We all have those intuitive nudges. And I'm guaranteed every person who's watching this have felt or just generally known something and ignored it or dismissed it. And then it's happening like, damn, I knew that. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's it's like when we hear something happening in our car, or at check engine light. Oh yeah, cool, okay. Or I actually do this with gas.
Oh
See,
yeah.
I'm still learning, but I will. Oh yeah, I need some gas. I just can't stand pumping gas. I don't like going to the gas station. I don't know why.
So you're on your last little drops and you're like, I'm going to stop in a minute. Oh.
And I'm like, okay, and so, but it's like, that's probably not great for the car, but that nagging feeling of like, I know that there's no gas and that I need to get gas. I need to get gas. And I'm like, I will. Right. But then what happens if I run out of gas and I need to be somewhere
and you haven't got it again?
And then I run out of gas. So I'm better. I got gas yesterday. Be proud of me. It was definitely on empty and I was like very empty. It's like, okay.
All right. The advice today is treat your body like your car and give it the gas that it needs to keep the fuel running so you can get from A to B, basically. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so what other tips would you like to give our viewers today, how they can start, mastering themselves as well, working with their own energy, starting walking their own path, being authentic to themselves as well?
So the first thing I would suggest is getting to know what they care about.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when they're in situations where they're stuck or things are coming up or they're feeling a certain way, they can stop and just pause, take a breath, obviously, take a breath, sigh it out, and then just like, okay, what do I care about in this moment? Or what do I care about in this situation? What do I care about going into this conversation? And getting clear on like the care in the heart instead of, well, okay, well, I'm really concerned because of this, and I'm really worried about this. And then all of a sudden, that can go on forever, right? And then you're like, I'm worried about an asteroid hitting the earth, right? Well, you just started with like one little, like, I'm worried about how this is going to go. And then you just spiral into like crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So care about, like, what do I care about in this situation? And like, it's just that like sacred pause.
Yeah.
And even what do I care about? That's coming back to the center.
Yeah.
When we're in the whirlwind and we're feeling all these things, our nervous system is in fight or flight, right? Fawn or freeze. We're literally not getting any supply to our brains. So good decisions aren't going to happen.
No, they're not.
We're going to, no. So when we do sacred pause and just, okay, take a breath.
Yeah,
what do
and
I care about?
Back to that breath and going back to that heart space, you're moving your mind back into that. So film what you're suddenly creating in that horror film or whatever you've suddenly started creating in your own mind, you can calm that down. Obviously bad things do happen and we have to deal with them and stuff like that. But, getting yourself, as you said, that sacred breath. And I must admit that is easy to forget to connect to your breath. because we just get into that, as you said, that spiral. We go up and up and up, and then our breathing gets more shallower and more shallower each time. And then, you know, then we're just completely out of sorts. Sorry. Yeah.
Totally. And then noticing, oh, where's my breath? Right? There's times where I'm like, I swear my breath is like here to here. It's like not even going back. It's not even, I don't even know. It's not in my lungs. I'm just like survival breathing, just like, yes, you know, and then nothing makes sense. And I'm just like, wow. So
okay, I'm glad I'm not alone on that one. Because that happens to me. And I'm like, okay, breathe. I'm like, right, come on, pull it up from your feet, Kelly. Feel it in your whole body. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Pull up from the feet. Yeah.
And
yeah,
feel
send
like
it.
you're pulling up the energy, you know, just work with, you know, really like get yourself down, plant those feet on the ground, really feel that you are supported, and then pull up that support through your whole being. Yeah, that's what I try and do when I'm noticing that. It's just like here, because otherwise I'm gone. I'm just out of my body then. And then I can't, yeah.
Then you're running into things.
Yeah.
You know? I can notice, like, depending on how many bruises I have on my body, like, oh, I'm not grounded.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I will, like, you know, oh, there's a door wall, or a, you know, a doorway, or corner table, you know, and I just like run it.
We're going faster than, you know, we're going faster than our actually body can keep up. You know, we're already there. We've already like kind of jumped out of ourselves and already got there, but the body's like, I'm still coming. And then, oh, table, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so what else just came into that other thing of like the sacred pause and the sacred breath, and what do we care about, and bringing that energy up also is like, when we can do that, it's like just being aware of the dialogue and the noise, right? And the noise, just saying all like, just like, and this and this and this and this, and just quieting them, right? And that the caring, what we care about is going to shut them up too. Right? Yeah. You're like, because they're not about caring. They're like, in this, and I'm worried about
nagging you. Yeah.
This reminds me of the time when I was 5 and that person stole my toy, and then I was feeling that way, and I feel that way right now, you know, and then you're just like, right. And it all started with someone honking at you. You know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're on the side of the road, like meltdown.
They were honking at you because you didn't get your gas and you stopped in the middle of the highway. That's why they were honking at you. Come on, admit it.
Yeah. No, right. It's true.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No.
So it's so it's important, right? Just that pausing and keeping it simple. It isn't, you know, as we build on our skills and our unique techniques and all of that stuff, we have more to weave, right? More threads and more colors to weave. And it's just that expansion and being able to hold that space and have more tools.
Yeah.
But you just always starting with that first, pausing, the simplicity. So we don't
we have that breath with us all the time. Time. Yeah. That sacred breath is always there, and that's why we're here.
Free.
It's free, and that's why we're here. You know, otherwise, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be here. So how can people connect with you? If like someone's like watching and say, hey, I really want to try hypnotherapy, or, you know, I'm really vibing with what Tanya's saying to us today, how can people reach out to you? You know, what's your website, Instagram? How can people connect with you?
Okay, so website is 3 spelled out, feathers, holistic.com. And there's a bunch of information about the different things I offer. And then there's a contact page. I have Facebook, same thing, 3 Feathers Holistic. You can look up on Facebook, reach me through there. Instagram is 3 Feathers Shaman. Okay. So it's at 3 spelled out, the underscore feathers underscore shaman. Okay. And that is, I post on there just whatever's going on in my life, the insights I'm getting in, inspiration. And so it's very authentic when I post, because I'm just riding with the energy. And so if I get that, like, oh, share this.
Yeah, or, I get that too. Yeah.
Stay tuned, you know.
Yeah.
So those things you can reach me. And
That's
then I
really,
work in person and distance, remote.
that's really
So
good for us guys here in Europe that you can do distance. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just beautiful where you live. I mean, you know, it's such a beautiful place that you're near the lake and everything. And that must really,
Yeah.
really fill your cup as well.
Being in the woods and nature
Yeah.
and the bears and coyotes and
See,
deer.
they put you in the right place.
I think so. Eagles, hawks,
Oh, wow. Oh, that's magical.
other
Magical.
ants,
And
mosquitoes.
oh yeah, we don't want those. You keep those. We have them here too. We don't want them. Oh, well, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for sharing so honestly and so rawly everything with us today. And like, you know, it's really what I love about these is that we really get a feeling into how, you know, how everyone's journey unfolds. And, you know, a lot of the time it's because we're starting to work on ourselves. And then we are here as a collective to help each other as well. So if we're doing good, we're rippling that out to everyone around us. And, you know, the main aim is to make sure you're okay, that you're not running on empty. And we've all got our baggage, what we've had to carry on, what we're still working with. And it's just, I think it's really important that we showcase that we all have this and we all have stuff to clear, and it's absolutely normal. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of the experience of being here. Yeah. So thank you for sharing yours.
And embracing, clearing the heaviness and the vibration around what's happened, and also being so grateful and in tune with like, oh, right, having that perspective and observation of like, oh, I see.
Yeah, because you will have people, you will get those aha moments. They come. They do come. The aha moments come. Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm here because of that. And so like, I don't want to change that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any regrets. If I regretted then I'm
Yeah.
regretting now,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
happy.
That's true. That's a very good way of putting it. If I'm regretting that, then I'm regretting now, because you've actually, because of that, you've come to that point.
Yeah.
That's a really nice way to point to reflect on. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. I like that. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And yeah, send you lots of love. Everyone who's watching today, thank you for watching us today. And we can't wait to see you again on another Cup of Self-Empowerment. And until then, hello, good night, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world. And make sure that you're going back to your center and taking that sacred breath. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.